So this is one guy that I don't really pay a lot of attention to. I'd sort of forgotten all about him and his new YouTube channel and things like that. But then I saw it. I think I was fed a clip from an interview he did with an American TV show, Extra TV, and he was interviewed by this guy Billy, Billy something or the other, the one who got in trouble with Trump. I've forgotten his last name, but his name is Billy, and he's on Extra TV, I believe. So he interviewed Piers, and I saw a clip of it, and then I Googled to sort of get more information on the clip, and so that's how I sort of got sucked into this person's existence again, because I don't typically bother with him. So he basically has come out and said that Meghan and Harry are a bunch of renegade royals. The Duke and Duchess of Montecito is what he calls them, and they're basically sucking energy and attention away from the real royal family at a time when the family is experiencing a lot of different crises, from death to illness to God only knows what else. And, basically his position is that they should have declined the invitation to visit Nigeria because, they don't have the right to create a rival royal family slash court to compete with the real royal family. And so, that's basically a paraphrase of what he seems to have a gripe with, his newest gripe, I should say, with Meghan and Harry. And the thing that jumped out at me the most was when he said that they should have declined the invitation to Nigeria, which apparently they were invited back in September 2023. That invitation went out well before either Charles or Kate announced their issues with the disease that they both seem to have. And I'm sure their answer went out shortly thereafter as well, because they would need to plan, because they seem to have a lot going on. So there's that. They can't now, take back their RSVP just because Kate and Charles, who have nothing to do with them and their lives at this point, they've basically been banished from the family and are barely holding on to their Duke and Duchess title as a consequence. Even during this broadcast, Piers called for their royal titles to be taken away, because they don't need royal titles because they're not royals anymore, according to people like Piers, and they're not a part of the family. They're not a part of the royal family. So it kind of belies the opinion, therefore, that this man seems to hold, that they should decline invites on the basis of the fact that it's competing with the royal family, because and this idea that they are a rival royal family. You can't have it both ways. If they're not royals, and therefore let's take their titles, right? If they're irrelevant, right? If they should get out of the UK, which Piers wanted Meghan out and she left, she went back to her country. If all of that is true, then why should anything that they do, whether it's taking a holiday, whether it's visiting a foreign country at the invite of the government, whether it's the president, the defense ministry, the Commonwealth ministry, or whomever. Why does he then believe that Meghan and Harry's life, their plans, their travel plans, anything at all that they do has anything to do with the royal family, or that the royal family has any right to dictate what Harry and Meghan can do, and whether Harry and Meghan can or should accept invitations from anyone at all? What business is it of Piers's? What business is it of the royal family, from King Charles to Camilla to William and Kate, where Harry and Meghan go, and who invites them, and what the reason for the invite is? So long as Harry and Meghan are not going in the name of the monarchy, or in the name of King Charles, or anything like that, I don't understand why this man feels that they have to first clear their plans with King Charles. King Charles doesn't even have time to have tea with Harry, never mind with Meghan. He wants nothing to do with them, right? He has banished them. They're excommunicated, right? And Harry and Meghan, I don't think they mentioned even once the name of King Charles, the name of Camilla, the name of Kate, the name of William, or anything having to do with the monarchy. I don't think they mentioned that even once. I think it's been clear for all of us that this is about the Invictus Games. This is about promoting the Invictus Games, discussing the Invictus Games, and exploring venues for the Invictus Games around the world, which has nothing to do with the monarchy, nothing to do with King Charles, who has said publicly that he will not put the force of the monarchy and its resources behind the Invictus Games. The Invictus Games has nothing to do with him. So the idea that Harry and Meghan needs to clear their travel plans pertaining to the Invictus Games with King Charles first just boggles the mind. It boggles the mind. I'm not understanding what the rationale would be there. Will King Charles even take their call or their email? Will he bother to read? Let's say Harry did email his father, can I go to Nigeria to discuss the Invictus Games? Can I go to Kenya? Can I go to Ghana? Can I go to Jamaica? I mean, imagine he wants to get permission. I'd like your permission. I would like to go discuss the Invictus Games, with in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, or in South Africa, or in Tanzania, or wherever he's going, or God forbid, Canada. Did he have to get permission to go to Canada? Because he held the games in Canada. Canada is part of the Commonwealth. Did he also have to clear that with his father? I mean, it's just bizarre. He was just in Canada, in Whistler, Canada, in February. Was he being asked to clear that with his father? I don't think so, right? But correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. I stand to be corrected. So if he doesn't have to clear when he goes to white countries like Canada, why does he have to clear to go to Nigeria and African countries? I mean, are we saying that African countries belong to Charles and to England in a way that Canada does not? I mean, is it a question of ownership and belonging? Does Africa belong to England? Does the Caribbean belong to England in a way that Canada does not? And if that's the case, what's the explanation for that? Where do you get off thinking that England owns Africa and the Caribbean, such that Harry needs England's permission to visit any country in Africa or any country in the Caribbean? All of these countries really, I think, need to get out of this Commonwealth and grow up and start being their own, boss. I mean, it's Bob Marley said it, emancipate yourselves from mental slavery, because that's all that this is. Because why are they even in this ridiculous thing called a Commonwealth in the first place is beyond me, beyond me completely. They need to break the chains of slavery because that's what is going on here. They really think that they own Africa and they rule Africa and they decide what Africa can do and what the Caribbean can do because it's a whole bunch of black people versus Canada, which is a white country where Harry has visited and held Invictus Games. Nobody's asking Harry to clear his father's permission before he goes there. The problem is as much on the African side as it is on their side. Africa needs to break the chains of mental slavery and get out every country out of the Commonwealth. Ditto for the Caribbean. Get them out. Anyway, that's it for this one. See you in the next one. Take care. Bye.